Yeah, air collects in the pleural space between the lung and chest wall, which causes lung to collapse. Yeah, okay. So with that, you don't necessarily, the lungs aren't necessarily pierced, but your chest cavity is.
You too can learn medicine words by watching The Pit, a good TV show on HBO.
Really.
On the back of that, hello everyone, I'm A.D. Eastfinger, also known as Corbidian. This is the Electric Metropolis video game tour. Today we're doing another episode of Star Trek Return to the Frontier, and somehow we're not dead aboard the USS Thralic, although our captain nearly is. But hopefully we're going to hear wise and Vulcanish words from her in the near future. But I give it over to the GM first, because I might be wrong.
And me to the Commodore.
Hello. Say hello and you immediately start dying? Commodore's log. That's not the right energy. Commodore's log. Stardate 1420.7. There is still no sign of anyone else or where they could have gone. I have continued to focus my efforts on figuring out how to replace the missing reactor. If I can get the ship fully powered, I may be able to get help. End log.
As said before, it is a one-threat game. And we find Commodore Solaris in the engineering bay of the Thralic.
Okay. Something's wrong with the reactor. Let me make an insight check to attempt to analyze the reactor to determine what's wrong with it.
I will tell you for free, no task.
Go ahead.
It's not there.
Oh, yeah. The matter anti-reactor is just missing.
Yep.
It should be right here, and it's not.
No, it's off screen. It's
okay.
it's in TOS. It's off screen. It's like a flowing light thing over here.
Yeah, it's like a giant hallway, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to assume that the ability to create a matter-antimatter reactor from scratch probably exceeds what I can do with the basic engineering tools. Presumably requires a factory kind of specialized.
Insight engineering difficulty 2.
Okay, warp core mechanics for a focus?
Yes.
Okay. Take a threat. Okay, I pass.
With an industrial replicator and the ship's reserve store of antimatter, you're looking approximately at a full month's worth of work for a dedicated engineering Starbase engineering crew of like 30 people.
I was going to say like dozens of people working full shifts. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. And okay, I have no idea where anyone else on the ship is. They're just all missing.
Mm-hmm. You haven't seen anyone or any sign of where they've gone.
Okay. And the ship's on some kind of reserve power right now, right? Because the primary power reactor or the
that you could look into.
Okay,
because you are right. You do notice their things seem to be powered.
All right, then I shall determine where the ship's getting power from, and if it's on reserves, how long those reserves will last.
engineering difficulty 1.
Okay.
Um,
I'd probably want to focus on like GPS systems or something.
yes.
So I don't have that. So I take another threat. There we go. I'm sorry, did you say reason engineering?
I did.
I think it's the same score. Yeah, it's the same score.
Okay. 1 momentum gained. The ship, the ship's secondary reactors are actually. Let me see if the Thralic has secondary reactors.
Third point capacitor, improve warp drive, improve RCS. That's
Okay, it does not. So the reserve reactor, meant only for emergency situations, is in an idle state. All power is flowing from the main matter-antimatter reactor, according to this terminal.
Okay. The secondary reactors are inactive or they're on standby. And the ship is registering a power output from a generator that I can confirm is not here.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, having read this result, I will climb this ladder and look over here. Can I make a visual confirmation there is no reactor right here?
Yes, there is no reactor right there.
Okay. Is there a way I can pull up like some kind of like power system map of the ship to try to follow the electricity back to its source to try to confirm if it really is being drawn from here?
For 1 momentum?
Sure.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So the computer's not wrong. It is actually getting power from here.
Both the output readings and a map of the electrical grid confirm with each other, confirm and are consistent with each other that power is coming from the matter-antimatter reactor, which you visually can see is not there.
Okay. Solaris is approaching her wit's end here because she is going through this problem as logically as she can and is continually encountering things here that 2 + 2 is equaling 3 here. There is some obvious logical gap here that the rules of the universe as she understands them aren't working the way they should, and it makes her frustrated. Okay. Go ahead.
You know who Solaris commonly relies on to provide insight when reality does not match observation?
Mm-hmm.
Commander Ivanov walks in.
Ivanov.
Yeah. Hello, Commodore.
Okay. To put aside the question of the absence of the crew for now, could you please look at these reports? The ship is telling me that it's drawing all of its power not from the secondary reactors, but from the main reactor. But a basic visual observation will confirm a complete absence of the main reactor here, which implies either there is some great optical illusion here, or that my eyesight has completely failed me, or that the ship's computer data is completely incorrect, which implies grievous system failures.
all are possible. Have you run any scans of the area itself?
No, let us start with that.
Oh, very well. Science tricorder. Reactor missing? Okay. Revere
Reason
clearly
science
just
difficulty 2.
miniaturized it. Revere was bored. He just miniaturized the entire project.
Telling you, he and Paul made a cloaking device for it.
Honestly, he would.
I feel
Sensor
like
operations.
Or to pro.
This is just like the scene is going to end, and we're going to see Revere moving little figures in a glass bottle, talking about how cool he is making his small starship in the bottle.
Yeah.
That you went through like a bunch of effort to like copy gray miniatures of the crew and then painstakingly hand paint them to match how they look.
Yeah, reason science difficulty 2.
Yeah. Yep. Revere's into Warhammer.
Nerd.
There's no reason for the hearing to help, so we won't go with that. We will give you a threat, though. Actually, he does have the artificial sense of hearing, so I don't know if that would be in any way able to assist with the audios that you would normally expect from a place like this. The machinery that will normally expect.
I think
expect
you're
beyond the normal
looking
range of
for
hearing,
a.
but yes.
I think you are looking for a higher fidelity than that. Like if you're using the tricorder, so I will say that your artificial sense will confirm the results that you get. They are in line.
Yeah, I just had to make sure. I have to try. I've got the thing. I've never used the thing. We'll give you another 2 threat. Actually, we'll give you 3 threat total and just yeet. Hey, look at that! You've got momentum now.
Not 5. 4 momentum gained. Ivanov. Only in the visual spectrum are you unable to detect the reactor. In every other spectrum, in every other way of detection, you can detect it.
So if one were to change the standard spectrum that we were using, such as black light, for example, would this be visible as a question?
Yeah, like you turn your tricorder over, or you use your tricorder to like look at different parts of the light spectrum, and you can make out the reactor.
Oh, okay. Yes. Lovely. Computer, and then insert words for changing the lighting to an appropriate.
Adjust the visual spectrum to...
Yes, adjust visual spectrum to these parameters. Tricorder, flick.
Probably taking out like one of the discs from out of the tricorder, putting it into the computer, leaning over at the computer, telling it to do that.
Oh, yes. Wait a second. Yes, I've got touch.
Yes. Using the environmental controls, you can you can't alter the spectrum of light you can see in, but you can expose the reactor to a different spectrum, and then each of you can use a tricorder or altered lenses on glasses or goggles to see that the reactor is there.
Very good work. So you can confirm that the reactor is here, merely invisible, specifically in the light spectrum visible to most Starfleet species.
At least to the most numerous Starfleet species, yes. And they can hear it.
Clearly, there is a wider mystery afoot. Tell me, do you remember what last you experienced before you arrived here?
I got a DM at that same moment, but it was not from the GM.
That's fast.
The GM does not have any additional information for you.
We had been negotiating with Dreadnought.
You remember? You remember being called down here? Do you remember walking to the store?
I was just coming to check on little projects that's going on down here. I mean, it is what I do in the XO.
Have you seen any other members of the crew lately?
Uh,
I'm going to create a complication.
Yeah?
Flicker throughout. The alarms start going off. And the computer is declaring there is a imminent reactor failure. You look over to see Revere and his daring team of engineers desperately reading out computer readings and making fine adjustments
You get
as there's action all around you.
So Loris hesitates for a brief moment, and what she does is, she has the TOS uniforms. They've got the stripes around the wrists, and so she folds
Yep.
back her wrists to cover up her rank stripes. And then she says, "I'm a member of your team, Revere. Tell me what to do to stabilize the reactor."
Does Revere recognize the Commodore?
Yes, but whatever she's doing does not seem the most important thing going on right now to Revere.
Okay, so what's the situation?
As not in that Revere has to ignore her, in that any incongruencies about her are the least worrying thing Revere has at the moment.
Okay. Appreciate your assistance, Commodore, and I'll give her a job.
Insight Engineering difficulty 3.
Do any of my focuses apply? Warp core mechanics, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
May I assist?
You can.
Okay. You get a reroll.
Excellent. I'll give you a threat for the third die. I'm bold. There we go. Does the ship assist?
No.
Okay.
Ship is having a problem.
Does the fact I'm in main engineering reduce that difficulty down to 2 so you gain your momentum?
I will say you have made an assumption that is incorrect.
Okay.
Revere, you detect that the computer core cannot locate the main reactor, and therefore power is incorrectly being dispersed, rerouted. The computer is generally making a lot of erratic, sending a lot of erratic information to the reactor because it cannot detect the reactor.
But
While
other
the
systems,
reactor, other
Sorry.
systems and the reactor themselves seem fine, except that they're being basically abused by the computer.
okay, so I need to. Sounds like to me like we need to get the computer to recognize the reactor. So that sounds like we need to do some quick reprogramming or programming.
You could come from a programming point of view. Daring science. I will create a complication that you're constantly having to restart or move terminals as terminals lose power occasionally.
Because the computer, yeah.
So difficulty 3.
Okay. Computer science to apply.
Yes.
And I'll also call in my talent computer expertise, which means the first bonus D20 I purchase is free. I don't know what that does to the price of additional ones, but who knows?
They continue. So if your first one is free, your second one costs 2. Your third one costs 3.
I see. It's just you don't have to spend the money.
Yeah.
Or not the money, you know. Let me see if there's
Money is an
anything
option.
else. No.
Wait, are you telling me I don't need to spend $1 every time I buy momentum?
Okay, so yeah, I don't think I have anything else I can really throw at this. So I will spend 2 of the momentum for the 4th die. Let's see if any of my traits might do anything. I know it's a couple of long shots. Cryptologist? Don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
All right. What about innovative engineer? See,
I
this-
would take that one, yes.
Okay, so that brings it down to 2. Okay. Woof.
Can I assist here?
You can.
Okay, so that gives you 1 reroll.
Okay, and I can quash the other. Well,
And how would you get rid of the other one?
okay, well, that gets rid of 1. Let's see. Which one is it?
If it's a medal, it's the Legion of Honor. In fact,
Yeah.
I think to me, the Legion of Honor specifically is the only way.
Yeah, so that's what we'll quash it with.
If
we're
you
down
were
to
here,
2, Stabira.
yeah, okay.
Sorry, didn't mean to step on your toes there.
So 2 more gained. So sorry, you do have a Legion of Honor that you used to get rid of the other one, or
Yes,
you had
yes.
some. Okay,
Yes.
okay. The computer still cannot detect the reactor, but you make a lot of alterations to the computer's standard operating procedure to force it to act as if the reactor was there.
Right. I'm thinking basically, doesn't have to recognize the reactor, it just has to recognize everything that comes off the reactor and do its normal stuff.
Yes.
All right. I think we've got the computer straightened out, although that's going to be an interesting problem to disentangle once we get the reactor back in phase. I don't know.
Well, and she kind of folds her sleeves back down. I appreciate the help, nevertheless.
Thank you, Commodore.
Did you perchance work on any? I do know how you like your special projects. Did you work on any attempts to cloak the reactor or to set it out of phase or to otherwise make it hard to detect by an enemy vessel?
You look around to
Poof!
and wonder who you were just talking to. Someone was
bomb.
here.
Smoke bomb, ninja.
Ninja vanish.
He's gonna ask us for the money we owe.
And so Loris says to herself, once was happenstance, twice is a pattern. Now I know not to ask.
Scene change. Oh, look, there's Griffin over there dying. Not anymore, though.
Yay.
Meanwhile,
back down
back
there.
in reality,
Conway makes his rounds. Coming to Griffin, says, hands you a small tray with several oral medicines on it, and says, think these are the last that the doctor has for you. Should be normal duty. I think he has you scheduled to be discharged from sick bay by lunch.
Oh, that's great. Anything I'll need to be keeping an eye on, or am I all set?
I would say the doctor would have told Conway to inform Griffin to come back in for like a checkup tomorrow, just to make sure that
Yeah.
just to make sure everything's fine and that there are no lingering effects.
Conway says, for any breathing problems, you should come to sick bay directly. Anything else, you can just call down. And then the doctor's got you scheduled for 5 follow-ups over the next 2 months. You can find those on your schedule.
All right. He's being thorough. Not that I guess I can complain.
The Commodore is going to have it worse.
Oh, I'm sure.
You're assuming the Commodore will survive.
Oh no.
I'm not.
Conway says, I'm glad you're doing better. When I saw you on the bridge there, it looked pretty bad.
Can't say I remember exactly what happened, but yeah, sometimes it's an improvement.
can I not find what I'm looking for?
You're looking in the wrong spot.
There we go.
It just doesn't exist anymore. It's in a different reality. I'm sorry.
Woo.
Doctor, you come out of the main surgical bay with nurse to pro as Conway is following through on your medical orders for this morning.
All right. What's the Commodore's status? Like out of character.
Out of character, I will say stable for the moment, and you have been dealing with the Commodore, and you expect to be looking back into that soon, but now is the brief moment where you feel
Right.
the need to
Check on everything
to
else.
make sure that to check that the rest of the med bay hasn't fallen by the wayside before you get back
Cool,
to it.
cool. Well, Conway, how are things looking out here?
Well, everybody's enthusiastic, I would say, to take your prescriptions and leave medbay. And he looks back over at Griffin, who he expects to have a longing look at the door outside.
Yeah, I think she kind of does.
Yep. The doctor will walk over to Conway. May I see? And like he puts his hand out for the charts.
He hands him over.
He's just gonna like give him a once over, make sure that all the that he's crossed the I's and dotted the T's.
He has, and it's further you see his burgeoning ability to be a good team leader continuing to come through as all of the other corpsmen that have come through on their different shifts have all ensured that he's ensured that all of the proper paperwork and procedures have been followed in your absence or in your focus on other things. Like nothing has slipped because you've been otherwise occupied.
Yes. Very good, Conway. This is all in order. And he'll, go around to each of the beds as needed and say, Griffin, everything looks in order. You may return to duty.
Yeah, thanks, Doc.
And he'll go around to each of the beds and give the final sign-offs on
As the doctor
those
does,
and on those that need to be returned.
as the doctor does that, Conway leans over towards Griffin and says, if you're looking to find something to do, I heard...
I'm available.
That is not what he says. I heard the commander was putting together a team to go look at Andromeda.
Oh. Yeah. Thank you. I'll see if I can volunteer for that.
As Griffin
She'll kind of hop down off the bed and jog over to the door.
and the others all escape the doctor's clutches.
Mm-hmm.
His literal claws.
I was going to say it's hard to escape his clutches because he's got those big talons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phasers help.
Little machetes.
Doctor, you can give me reason medicine difficulty 3 to compile your notes on the Commodore's
Uh,
situation.
Reason. Would the ship be able to assist me with computer's medicine?
Yes.
Cool. I'm gonna spend.
Is
Difficulty
it one
3.
easier because he's in medbay?
Oh yeah.
No.
Okay,
Um.
sorry.
Okay.
Actually, I have to look now.
Because I was gonna
'Cause-
say, I think it does. I think it does affect things if I'm using the ship's computer's medicine. I think that's like the point of the sickbay special.
I think it also reduces difficulties, kind of like the engineering one, if I'm remembering from last time.
Come on in. We got the sick bay special going all weekend.
Sickbay special. Here we go.
Okay, medical procedures performed in sick bay have diff reduced by 1 and can be assisted by sensors or computers plus medicine. So no. So yeah,
Okay.
the benefit you get is when you're doing procedures, and another benefit is that unless there is a good reason, you should always get the benefit of the sensors or computers plus medicine.
So do I still get the computer's medicine for this?
Yes, it's computers
Yeah.
medicine.
Renowned physician trait.
Yes, because you have encountered something similar before.
Cool. That drops the diff down to 1, in which case I'm only going to spend 1 momentum for a third die, and that's really just comp control. I have composure. I'm just no. I do not have any focuses on this. Cool.
Uh, 3 momentum generated.
Okie doke. Additionally, because I had assistance on this, I generate a bonus momentum.
So far, your notes show that Soloris's body seems unable to work with the artificial heart. You've had to administer pharmaceuticals to put the brain in a relaxed state, and that has kind of allowed the artificial heart to continue working, but it is not a long-term fix.
Hey, in which case, might I be able to spend a couple of the bonus momentum I got to create a trait to effectively give myself more time. Like I have like anti-rejection medication.
That is
Like
that is already in play.
okay.
That's why you're able to sit at your desk here and think for a second, and you're not actively performing surgery. Why I highlight your experience is that you saw the cyanophage that Griffin dealt with. Griffin's ability to survive that was increased by a mind meld that allowed her to consciously aid by being able to more closely control her own body.
So I'm under the understanding that an active mind meld would improve Soloris's chances.
Yes.
Okay. And is that a trait that I create with momentum? Or is that just an answer that you gave me?
Yeah, I would take that actually more as obtain information.
Okay, so that's one of my bonus.
Something else you've actually no, I take that back. I won't take it. I will take it as obtain information, but I'm not going to charge you for it. I highlighted earlier that your renowned physician would come into play that you were already
okay.
familiar. So that is
Because of
information I
this
should have
trait.
already given you. Yes.
Got it. Okay, cool. Does anyone have any suggestions for trait spends? Because I think as it stands, I still have 4 whole bonus momentum floating. And this feels like a good place to make some traits.
4.
I
Didn't
count
I...
2.
Maybe
So
something.
has Corbinian, have you accounted for both the momentum from the roll and the doctor's bonus momentum for the computer assisting?
Yes.
Okay, then doctor, it stands at 2 on the table.
Oh, okay. Huh. All right. I miscounted. Okay. Still, does anyone with 2 bonus momentum? That's still enough for a whole trait. So I don't know if anyone has any suggestions for that.
Yeah, maybe something about an early warning system that if her vitals start to go south, you detect it quicker. Or maybe I don't know, it's something about lucidity. Because if the problem is that she needs to understand it, maybe having a clearer mind might help. Although I don't know how you do that if she's not conscious. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like improved brainwave monitor.
Mm-hmm.
Not even
normally that's not-
improved, just specifically tuned.
Yeah, like because normally like a dedicated brainwave monitor isn't usually something that you have in place for a heart transplant patient. But in this case, I have determined, oh no, that'll actually help because there's a brainwave component to this.
I think I'm only going to charge you 1 for that because I think that's a piece of equipment which will act like a trait, but I think that's just a piece of equipment.
And I have that special thing, don't I?
Well, you're in
medical
medbay.
talent. Yeah, reduce the cost of medical equipment by 1. It's a
Yeah.
medical talent.
Okay.
It's my doctor
Okay,
special
so
ability.
in fact, this is free.
Okay.
Because it would normally cost 1.
Monitoring devices are opportunity 1.
Okay, cool. Good to know. And then, so I'm back to having 2 bonus momentum. Anyone have any other trait suggestions?
Perhaps like a full, well, not full, but like a good summary of the patient's condition as written by you. So that way, when people assist you and other medical people monitor the patient, you already have written up they don't have to go through the weeds on it. It's no.
Yeah.
I'm a renowned physician. You're not. Let me explain this to other medical people so you don't have to. It's a lot easier for you to follow along what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I'll take that 2 for the trait patient medical file.
Yeah, like I have a comprehensive medical file, so I don't have to spend time bringing people up to speed when necessary. I just hand them the file and say, "Here, this should tell you everything you need to know."
And if you needed any more evidence that either Corbinian or Sabira were had a third sight or a third eye or whatever, CN stops by your office.
Enter.
CN enters and says, "I assumed you would like to continue to provide updates, Doctor."
Yes, I did. Your timing couldn't be more opportune, and he sets the pad down in front of CN. I just finished compiling a comprehensive medical dossier on the Commodore's condition, such as necessary when such a high-ranking officer is in a prolonged state of medical distress. Although I'm afraid I do have bad news. It would appear that
She continues to look at you. As a master of Kolinar, it may be off-putting to you that at no time has she shown any emotion.
Soloris's body is currently actively rejecting the artificial heart. We are doing everything we can to prolong her body's ability to work with it, but it will appear that a full transplant will be necessary. The good news is I do have some ideas on how to make this happen, but I will need time that Soloris is somewhat lacking, but I think you may be able to assist.
A singular raised eyebrow is emoted, and she says, "You will have to forgive my ignorance of your plan, Doctor, but although I'm credentialed, it's in matters of discipline, Kolinar, and logic. And I do not see how additional mental discipline might help you." Well,
It will
she
assist.
actually, she I take that back. She thinks for a second and says, "In fact, as a non-Vulcan, perhaps additional mental discipline could aid you. I could lead you through some techniques."
Well, I do appreciate it. My time will be better spent attempting to bridge the scientific gap that will be necessary in order to create a replacement heart. What is needed right now is assistance in helping Soloris maintain control so that she can continue to use the artificial heart that is in her. It would appear that part of the reason the rejection is occurring, and he presses a couple buttons on like the dossier, is due to a mental rejection. The anti-rejection medication is doing everything it can on the purely biological level, on the cellular level. However, neurologically speaking, her brain is fighting back.
CN says, "This is rare, but I have heard of this. a involuntary technique some Vulcan explorers have adopted in expectation of encountering a species which does not accept the value of personal choice and bodily integrity.
So subconsciously, her mind is seeing the artificial heart as an intruder.
It is possible. She had never spoken of adopting such a technique, but it is a common belief or understanding among Vulcan explorers that such a species is out there that does these things.
Is it possible, again, that even if Soloris has not consciously adopted these mental disciplines, that her unconscious mind, being aware of them, has chosen to enact them?
It is unlikely, but it is possible that an undisciplined mind meld with another could have introduced them. She looks. Although I may value the trait, not all others would. That Soloris has sometimes been experimental in life.
I see. Well, in which case, it would appear that there is indeed something of a psionic component that may increase the Commodore's chances. As such, I believe you can see the value and the logic in your involvement. Normally, it is preferred that the loved ones and kin of a patient are not actively involved in the medical procedure. However, I believe that there is value in the psychological component at play here.
Cian says, a perspective among many species, but not Vulcans. There can be no one more passionate and yet dispassionate about a spouse than their spouse. I can repress all that needs to be to help Soloris through this.
Understood. Additionally, if you see it necessary, if the psionic factor ends up becoming a larger concern, we may also wish to consult with Sabi Ra.
Cian says, Sabi Ra has expertise in some areas of psionics, but none of them could be considered disciplined in the way that I think you might require medically.
Understood. And she'll see a look in his eyes that is a little like, yeah, that tracks.
Like if you had no answers, go ahead and contact Sabi Ra. But if you have like a general thought out plan that requires discipline, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's he's more bringing it to your attention in case you go in there with a mind meld and say, "Oh no, I'm gonna need something stronger."
She stands up and says, "Then, with your permission, I shall proceed."
Before you go, I do wish to also make sure that I run past you the current ongoing plan as the next of kin who would have to approve such a procedure. The current plan is.
She says, "Unfortunately, Doctor, I think you may need to consult Commander Ivanov or Captain Hidyat. In a circumstance like this, I believe the needs of Starfleet with respect to one of its senior commanders might trump my ability to give you permission."
The doctor sort of quirks a smile and says, of course. Starfleet chain of command is important and all. However, medical ethics do dictate that I at least run it by you."
She takes a pad and etches onto one of the documents a symbol that indicates permission on behalf of Soloris's spouse.
Thank you. Well, if you are ready to proceed on your end, I do now need to reach out to Revere regarding this next step and the development of this proposed procedure.
She says, "Something highly unorthodox, I'm sure,"
Hmm.
and then leaves.
The doctor immediately taps on his console and says, "Dr. Tuir to Revere."
Revere here. Is the Commodore
Ah.
all right, Doctor?
Her situation is rather complicated, and it is for that reason that I need you up here in my office post haste.
All right. I'm on my way.
Scene change.
Whoop, whoop.
As we see who other than Griffin and Savi Ra are accompanying Commander Ivanov in the exploration of the Andromeda.
Definitely an engineer of some description.
I think the chief engineer is going to tell you no, though
Yeah, I
it's your
think it's-
prerogative to tell him yes.
Probably going to be Harusk if you don't insist on Revere.
I was going to say Harusk is our next most qualified support.
He just asked for someone from the engineering team, and if Revere wanted to, he could go, but otherwise it's he just needs a person.
I now control tokens on if you can't move them.
What are we? What's our goal here? Remember, I was.
Oh, the Dreadnought acknowledged its unnecessary destruction of the Andromeda and had the Nanite Swarm reconstruct the Andromeda.
And now you're
And
going
that
it
is-
over with a fine-tooth
Yeah.
comb to make sure.
I was very suspicious of
Can we spin for an engineering team in that case and maybe a science team?
You could.
Damn, there'll be more people on this ship than there ever were.
We could probably get away with that with 2 momentum because they each cost 1 opportunity to create.
Yeah, that seems like a good use.
Lower some diffs.
Yeah.
Oh.
And science and engineering seem like the diffs that are gonna be
Yeah.
all over
No, this is going to be all security the whole way through. Actually,
And Griffin's there for con.
nothing but command rolls. Let's go.
I assumed Griffin was, having been unconscious for a few days, the first to run up to Ivanov and ask to be able to go.
Oh,
do
absolutely, yeah. It's
It's like, please, I need to move. I need to move around.
the ship
please.
isn't moving. Can I please come over and help you look at the other ship?
I am going to go insane if you don't let me.
All right,
Your eye
Ivanov.
moves, and the ship ain't moving.
You have your team. Any other equipment before you start?
Hmm.
Ah,
What equipment do we need for a rebuilt?
Oh, there's one that
I
jumps to
know.
mind, but I get the name. Like a molecular.
Holographic imager.
Well, that's a camera, but yeah, we could have one of those. Well,
There's a mass spectrometer, but for that you'd be you'd have to break off bits. Like it requires a sample.
yeah. Well, we're not doing samples.
Yeah,
that's fine. We also take a plasma torch.
Take a chunk off the wall and just take a look at. Yeah, no, that'd probably actually be relevant.
Okay. Plasma torch and a mass spectrometer, 1 opportunity each.
Well, probably don't need the plasma torch. I'm sure there's something in the engineering toolkit that can take a sample from a wall.
Plasma torch would melt and obliterate whatever it is we needed
Yeah.
anyway.
That would be called spoliation.
Yep. Hey. I'm just surprised no one knew what that was. Crap.
My brother's a lawyer.
Ah. Mass spectrometer. Portable mass spectrometer.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm like, I don't know.
We have an engineering kit.
I'm not suggesting there has to be something.
Yeah.
Oh, there has to
I
be
was
something.
opening in case you wanted something.
I'll bring along a first aid kit, like a med kit, just in case someone gets a boo-boo and needs to be helped, like first aid wise.
All right, because the med bay is not in the mood for trivial medical issues
Yeah.
right now.
Like I have medicine too. I can handle minor scrapes. Let's not bother the doctor.
I can do the reading and deal with bigger medical scrapes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, okay. No, I believe we are probably fine.
Yeah, we can get the rest on the ship.
And worst comes to worst, there's always more equipment on the Andromeda.
Yeah.
Ivanov, as you lead the team onto the ship, you, having only been on the Andromeda once or twice, find that it looks mostly normal. Griffin, everything seems eerily identical to your memory of the Andromeda. You don't see anything that looks off or wrong. You venture over and notice a scorch mark on the deck that never really came out, where a Klingon warrior tried to murder some of the crew once.
That's freaky. This thing even recreated battle damage and wear and tear.
Probably what it detected in its initial scan of the ship. Probably assumed it was supposed to be there. Or maybe it was decorative. Who knows the minds of a black box AI?
ESP opportunity.
I will take it.
You feel a presence, there is something watching.
Do I feel anything with my newly awakened telepathy?
Oh, did you take that?
Yeah.
Was that an RX spend or something?
That was a swap. I swapped out the Orion thing for telepathy. Not empathy, telepathy.
Mhm.
Take that,
I
Troy.
have not yet unlocked empathy.
Who needs to care how people feel?
Who needs to feel how people feel? That sounds annoying.
And that's why you're signal. No.
No. Nothing unusual. Nothing different from the minds and thoughts around you that match up to your visual sight. Right. You can both tell Ivanov is there because you can hear him, you can see him, and you can sense his that he is thinking.
The chattering of his mind.
Yeah, anything more specific would require a roll, but like you can.
Man, you could have fooled me.
Griffin not thinking.
Yeah, you look at Griffin completely
nothing
blank.
Yep.
Ah.
It's just the
Just the
fucking just the Meow Mix jingle.
What's
I think she
on
probably
the-
does have a loop of music going through her head. Yeah.
Commander.
Yeah, it's just like a race car that's going increasingly fast in her mind forever.
Yeah.
Commander, I have this distinct impression that something is observing and watching us, but I don't sense any minds other than the away team current. Suggest perhaps we check to see if the internal sensors of the ship are monitoring us?
Okay. My first thought would be the Dreadnought. It might be curious, but no, that is still a good suggestion either way.
I think the Dreadnought stopped caring about us after a while. This is something else. Well, I assume it's something else. The impressions are hard to narrow down without sensors and hard evidence.
Well, the easiest place to check for that would naturally be the bridge. So, Griffin, you are the most familiar with this vessel, and you are the one that would be quickest to, I think, see if anything is different or notably out of place. So, if you would be so kind.
Rusk might look a little bit insulted. At
Yeah, for real.
He was. Listen, Griffin has to stretch
He's
her
helped
legs.
put this thing back together several times.
I don't even know.
Like,
I think Ivanov probably knows that from a vague report somewhere, but Griffin doesn't shut up.
I'll take point and
So-
see if I see anything that's out of place.
Alright. Are you going up?
Russ, you'll probably know if
to-
anything more technical's changed.
Haras can help.
Are you
How about that?
going further forward, or are you going up to B deck?
I think Griffin's impulse is to go to B deck.
Impulse, because you're a Helms person? Sorry.
Hey!
All right.
Let's, like, I don't know. 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 Let Harusk and the engineering team will be taking kind of samples on every deck of,
Okay, so
various materials.
You'll be moving forward.
Yeah.
Probably the first thing is to go to primary phaser control and make sure nothing weird's
Right.
happening in there.
And
Right.
it's powering up. Oh no. Probably shouldn't let it do that.
Yeah. Start taking some samples and then head to engineering probably next and make sure everything looks okay there.
For Harusk, give me Insight Engineering difficulty 1.
Don't think any of my things apply. I will. I'll give you a threat for a third die. Ah, there we go.
2 momentum gained. Yeah, you sit down at primary phaser control and you check that power is available to the phaser. You turn on one of the banks just to see if the banks are actually there, if they work, and the computer reroutes you back to the basic readiness screen. You try your credentials. You pull out a little card, a little data disk you've been provided that contains the chief engineer and Inverni's command codes in case y'all needed them.
Mm-hmm.
You apply each of those in turn, and every time you try to access the phasers, the computer reroutes you back to basic phaser display.
Okay. So what other systems can I check from this deck? I want to see if this is just phasers or...
You can't override the console. You can think of this as like on the Thralic, all of the secondary systems kind of could tie into main engineering. There simply wasn't enough. There simply isn't that space on Andromeda. So if you asked to use the phasers, but not from the bridge, from engineering, this is what that would mean.
Okay.
So it still is a console that could be overridden.
Okay, yeah. So let me try and access the matter-antimatter reactor controls. Yeah, just...
I will take that for obtain information.
Sure.
You are able to get to this display screen that provides an overview of the matter-antimatter reactor, but any attempt to go into any of the actual subsystem controls finds you quickly returned back to the overview console. And you go so far as to continue to use the elevated permissions, and you get the same result.
Harusk to Commander Ivanov.
Yeah, Ivanov, go ahead, Harusk.
Commander, it appears that we are locked out of anything but the basic overview of the systems. I can't go into phaser control, although I can see that they're getting power and that everything is apparently nominal. I cannot access the warp core beyond, again, overview showing nominal status, but I can't go in and do any work, make any changes, adjust any flows, any of that. In both systems, I'm continually rerouted back to the main overview screen. I've tried using both yours, the chief engineers, and yours and the Commodore's permissions.
I'm going to spend 2 threat, and behind him, Harusk hears a loud zap and then some yelling.
Hold on, Commander, and I go see what's going on.
That's always a good sign when someone says that during a call.
Yeah, when there's a loud zap.
Run into secondary, the tertiary phaser control. I guess this is secondary phaser control. And you see 2 of the science team members performing first aid on a third, as it seems there's been an electrical discharge from the secondary phaser control.
What happened? How bad are they hurt?
Says the injured crew member looks up and says, I only pulled out the multi-tool to access the internals because the console was broken. It wasn't cycling correctly. And then bang, as soon as I tried to open it. As the others apply a salve to his burned hand. Try to help him up.
It looks like the ship, the nanites or something, may be programmed to take measures to keep us from accessing the systems beyond the surface level. I have a minorly injured science team member down here who tried to go into a panel and received a decent shock for their efforts.
Okay. I'm having a thought. Don't let anyone else take anything apart just now.
As you're thinking, you, Griffin and Sabi-Ra start walking towards the bridge. And all 3 of you notice the access door to the main computer room has a force field over it.
This is starting to make my thinking make a lot more sense. I just don't know if I want to say it.
Is it standard procedure for Archer classes to have force fields over the computer door?
Definitely not.
Oh.
So, the thought is, right, the ship was disassembled and remade.
Mm-hmm.
It was remade by something that doesn't have crew because it's artificial.
Oh, like an automated ship. But that would require a lot of power for something this big. Most I've ever heard is like little shuttles. Then again, we did just look at a ship bigger than a station, so never mind.
Yes. I don't know if it's feasible that it could have created a new one or put a part of itself in here.
Is there some sort of voice interface system that you can do on Archer classes?
Working.
The intercom, I'd assume. But if it's...
You can access the computer through the intercom, yes.
If you like, I could attempt a basic query and try to apply a sapiency test.
Sure. See if anything is.
I might suggest that to Ivanov, it would make more sense rather than limiting yourself to a intercom with a single actuator in the hallway. the bridge still makes sense.
Yeah, okay. We can still do that from bridge with the various readings, tools, etc.
Well, if you believe that's
Fancier
best.
communications.
I mean, as long as it doesn't see it as a threat or an intrusion.
I'm sure it will let us know.
I'll show. As you approach the bridge, you do not see a force field over the door.
Another thought is the intention, right? If it was intended to be given back to us, then it should be cooperative.
Some sort of basic defense mechanism to protect itself while it acclimates to us? Well, to you, really.
Or the programming in the first thing believes that we had something like this or should have, and it was just missing.
I mean, it's a good idea to protect your computer core. It's a very valuable part of your ship. I had armed guards in one of my ships once.
Griffin normally leads the way, right? Or are you letting Ivanov go first?
Yeah, Griffin will take point.
Yeah, you just press the button
Griffin?
to see if it opens.
Ivanov opens the door. Griffin steps through, and once
Vaporized.
Griffin passes through the door, it shuts immediately.
No.
Well, that doesn't seem
And
good.
actuating the door doesn't seem to work, Ivanov.
Well.
Actually, I
thought
think
you
I
were
have
screaming.
to spend for this. I think I have to spend 2 because that's.
Separating the part.
Is it 2? Is it 2 for?
That's a new one. That's a new thing. I'm not sure.
Well, you spend a certain amount of resources based on the size of the larger group. I don't remember if it's 2 per or 1 per.
Dividing the group.
Equal to the number of players, and the larger the 2 groups.
Oh, okay, so it's just one.
So actually, no, I would need to spend 1 more for Harusk because you've already used a crew support to activate Harusk. He's technically separated off from y'all now. Or Griffin's separated from all 3.
Yeah.
Griffin, you find yourself alone on the bridge.
Okay. I think she's going to open her communicator and see if she can get contact with the rest of the team.
You go to the
Dive
communicator
off.
rather than the wall panel?
Yes.
Okay. I ask only if because to Griffin, most of the time the wall panel is the easier, more reliable way to go. But you may do this intentionally to have isolated communications.
Yeah.
That is the thought.
Okay. I will point out to you, I will require control engineering difficulty 1 because your tricorder will default to the comm system of Andromeda. It'll detect Andromeda's nearby and then rely on Andromeda to transmit between each communicator.
Right.
Because that is a more reliable communication method than its internal systems can provide.
Yes, I'm a portable radio, but there's a big radio right here. So dumb proof. I'm gonna make you use the good one. No, don't do that. Okay, if you say so, user. Don't yell at me. Yeah, but I was supposed to.
It has this whole little dial just for this.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, what was the roll there?
Control engineering difficulty 1.
Cool. Somehow my sheet is lagging. I didn't know that was possible.
That's all those DLCs you downloaded.
Yeah, must be.
Upgrade to Pro, and your sheet won't do that anymore.
I don't think I have a focus for this, so I'm just gonna roll 2.
Hey!
Alright, generate 1.
Finally pulling your weight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you generate 1 momentum, and you change to a isolated secure channel.
Griffin to Ivanov.
And Ivanov, your communicator chirps as you receive communication from a secure channel.
We'll flick that open. This is Ivanov. Go ahead.
I'm on the bridge. Can't seem to. Well, door closed immediately behind me. Not seeing any immediate threat. Doesn't seem like the door opens again from this side. I assume you've tried yours?
I will correct you, Griffin. I did not hear you say that
Okay.
you attempted to leave the room, so I did not narrate anything.
All right. Then she'll say, door closed behind me. Assume you've tried to get in.
Yes, it is not working.
All right. Do you want me to take a look around first, or try and open the door from my end?
Yeah. Take a look around.
Understood.
You turn around to see across the view screen welcome, Ensign Griffin.
Just gonna
Actually,
click very slightly about that.
Did you get promoted to Ensign before we changed over?
Yes, the lieutenant was after, but ensign was right
then
at
yes.
the end. So,
and you see most of the consoles are not turned on, but the console lights up.
She's left her communicator open, by the way, and she's gonna say, "Ship appears to be welcoming me. Hasn't checked Starfleet duty records since I was transferred, though. Looks like." Con station appears to be online. Everything else is still off. Just gonna start moving over towards the console.
On the console, it changes over to a visual display, and it says current uniform markings do not match Ensign Gwendolyn Griffin. And then it says confirm new changes, and then there's a little yes and no selector.
Yep. She'll click yes.
And it updates you to Lieutenant Junior Grade Gwendolyn Griffin, and then the console cuts off immediately, and the screen goes black. As you look down at your uniform and you see not a patch that indicates service on Andromeda, but one that indicates service on the Thralic.
Damn it. Systems locked me out. It scanned my uniform and saw insignia of the Thralic, as well as a rank update.
Oh.
Well, I am beginning to think my theory is more and more accurate.
But it's centered on the lieutenant to allow her in.
It's centered on the identity of the vessel.
Presumably, my basic biometrics would have been in Andromeda's system still, right?
Assume it so, yes.
So let's say it picks up initial identification and then sees a discrepancy, checks. I prompt it to accept, and it says I'm not part of the crew anymore. I mean, all technically seems correct, just computer system doing a lot more than it's supposed to.
And a lot more independently.
Right.
I remember
I think
correctly,
The logic seems sound.
if I remember correctly of Federation law, guests are allowed to wander around on Starfleet vessels except for critical areas like bridge,
Bridge,
engineering,
computer core.
computer core, things like that. So it's probably just acting on what the legal principles are. Although you should be
And on a
allowed
ship
in,
this
not
small, It's
me.
going to be a lot of systems.
Yeah. Want me to try the
Correct.
intercom again? Nothing else. Nothing should change with me.
I was going to see if Griffin could leave first before
That's probably a good idea. I'm gonna get away from the
Yes.
door. That's what I'm gonna do.
All right. Attempting to head out. If you hear screams, something's happened. She's going to hit the door button.
we'll leave.
Uneventfully walk through the door, and it closes swiftly behind you.
If I were a different kind of Orion, I would have jumped in there, but I'm old enough to not do that anymore.
With a seemingly more intelligent ship than normal, that would make you one of the less intelligent Orion.
There's a lot of very unintelligent Orions.
I said one of, not the most.
That's true.
I was being generous.
Appreciate it.
Right, so if we're going off Starfleet protocol, which this thing might know, maybe shouldn't call it thing unless it thinks that's offensive and is listening to us, but
I will spin
Then-
2 threat.
I'm self-aware.
Griffin, you find yourself jumping back real quick as Ivanov is surrounded by a force field. Force fields activate between 2 of the bulkheads, isolating him.
Didn't like what you said, I guess?
I mean, I did say I probably shouldn't unless it thinks that's offensive, and I guess it does think this is offensive.
Or thinks you think it's offensive.
You hear over the intercom, escaped prisoner 25673 must return to isolation in the brig.
Oh,
What?
no, that's what it's doing.
Were you a prisoner at some point?
Yes.
Andromeda doesn't have a brig. Did we?
No, we didn't have a
No.
brig.
Not really, but you had spaces that could be used as temporary brigs. Yes, you do
Oh yeah,
have a
no,
brig.
absolutely.
No, I take it back. On A deck, there is a one. There's it. Well, it's a stacked bed. There is a 2-bed, very small brig. I remember because Artana got put in there once for something or another.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Griffin doesn't.
I were trying to put someone in there. Had special guards and everything.
Yeah.
And the person escaped anyway.
Yeah.
So, yes, well, that's a part of my
Black
record
security,
that,
you
don't
know, frontier
get to see.
guys. What you can do?
So theoretically, we want someone who the ship will recognize as a current registered crew of the Andromeda. Yeah.
Theoretically, we get its commanding officer, which we have aboard the Thralic.
Mm.
Who's currently-
Theoretically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Am I being escorted to the brig?
Scene change. As Solaris, the matter of the missing reactor seems partially solved. but you still don't seem to be picking up any form of external communication, and your hails seem to have gone unanswered.
Can't hail anyone, and whenever I attempt to talk to the people that appear and ask them questions that would elucidate myself to the situation, they disappear. It is only logical to conclude then that either I am in a state of complete delirium where I have lost all touch with reality, or that I have been captured by some malevolent force who is now prodding my brain for some kind of espionage related reason.
You feel a presence behind you, and you turn to see Cien. And she says, "You look to be in some distress."
Soloris looks her up and down, and then looks past her almost, and she says, "If you are running some sort of simulation to torture me, I do find it rather gauche to appear to conjure an image of my beloved in an attempt to manipulate me. My fellow crew are one thing. This is a further step down the line."
Stupid brain.
She says, "Unless you have a quite dim view of Dr. Tawir, I do not think this qualifies as torture."
Then let me ask you this. What is the nature of your existence?
She looks about for a second and says, "Currently, I am experimenting with the unexpected. I have mastered Kolinar and have currently dedicated my existence towards that which I wouldn't do of my own volition."
Dolores looks suitably impressed for a second, and then she says, "Well, this might be the best one yet. Could you inform me of your most recent memories before your arrival here?"
"I consulted with Dr. Tawir about your medical condition and gave him the permission he needs to proceed in resolving it, though I do not think my permission matters as much as Ivanov's."
I'm an officer enlisted in the fleet. As part of my enlistment, I understand that the ship's chief medical officer will make life or death decisions for me in the absence of other next of kin. What is the nature of my injury exactly? I simply remember a lot of pain and a collapse.
The only one the doctor cannot resolve is having replaced your heart with an artificial cybernetic replacement. The body seems to reject it.
The engine is in the bay, and yet it cannot be seen on the visual spectrum.
She says, "I'm sure that means something."
She kind of points and she says, "If you look over in this direction, Can you, with your natural eyesight, deduce a matter-antimatter reactor?
She looks and then looks back at you and says, "Yes." I am unfamiliar with the design of such things, but there seems to be one.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Can you not see one?
No, I could not. And the previous apparitions that appeared before me were also unable to. It seems that we were able to understand that something was powering the vessel, that we were able to determine that the ship was receiving power, that the power seemed to be emanating from the main reactor, and yet when looking at the main reactor, it did not seem to exist. It was as if it was in a state of quantum uncertainty. Except, well, when examined on levels other than the visual or audio spectrum, it was able to be determined that something was there. Before I realized I was in some state beyond my normal reality, I had assumed it was cloaked in some fashion.
The doctor's suggestion was to proceed if as it was there. Perhaps we should attempt that.
To accept something you can't, or to act as if something you can't accept is true for long enough, thus eventually accepting its truth.
Not an approach I would normally take, but certainly one an irrational being such as the doctor would suggest.
Dolores considers for a moment, and then she says, "It brings me no pleasure in saying this, but in some ways I fear I am closer to the doctor than I am to you."
She raises an eyebrow and then quickly moves past that and says, "Perhaps we shall attempt it then."
What
Not that kind of closeness.
Yeah.
Let my ship come in.
No.
Okay. Yeah, very well then. We shall engage in, well, how does one use a heart without accepting its existence? Simply engage in strenuous exercise until it becomes apparent that it must be there?
Cian says, "Perhaps, if I think about it, there are very few things you have described a starship doing as being vigorous, with the exception of maneuvers attempted by Lieutenant Griffin. Perhaps something she would do."
A very bold move. You are perhaps the last person I've ever encountered in my entire existence, which is a fairly long time at this point, who would ever suggest we emulate that particular lieutenant. But the needs may call for it.
That particular lieutenant, not even saying her name.
Wow.
Lighted.
Daring Con, difficulty 5.
The pilot who shall not be named.
You
Mhm.
attempt to
Pilot
do
shall
from
not be
engineering an extreme con maneuver.
Can we move to the helm? I don't know how my mind palace is interpreting events here. Can I transition towards the helm?
Thinking on a second, you find yourself at in the command chair while Cian sits at the con.
I also just realized this is the second time we've done this.
Yeah. No, this is our second brain mind palace Osmosis Jones episode. Okay.
There is no Osmosis Jones here.
Can I ask what Cian's con is?
I mean, I guess you, can
should be able to see
ask.
her sheet. She's a con of 2.
That's pretty good.
You're gonna need to summon your mind, Griffin.
I'm gonna let her take your helm.
You know what?
right.
That's
I feel a
actually not-
disturbance in the force.
That's not a bad idea. Can I think really hard and say to myself, what would Griffin do? What would Griffin do? And attempt to summon an apparition of Griffin as has appeared before. There we go.
All right. Let's fly the ship.
Griffin walks onto the bridge. And Cian kind of looks and says, perhaps my skill is inadequate at this. And
Yeah.
moves
I'm
over
a
to navigation.
professional.
Dolores has the smallest of smiles, and she says, well, if it isn't the lieutenant of whom we were just speaking so highly of.
Oh, I'm honored, Cap.
Lieutenant Griffin, I have a most urgent matter for you to attend to. In order to allow myself to comprehend the nature of my new blood vessel, my new blood pumping organ, we have to bring this ship, which, as I understand it, is my mind's metaphor for my own body, to as fast as you can possibly travel for a sustained period of time.
Are you
I will say, Griffin, all of
experimenting with
that.
thrill seeking?
Hold on, Griffin. I will say all of that to this version of Griffin sounded like a normal order to
All right.
run the ship through a speed trial.
Warp 15, baby.
Like Griffin doesn't have any awareness of the allusion to bodies
Yeah.
or blood vessels or anything like that.
Yes, Captain, bringing us up into a standard experimental trajectory.
Daring con, difficulty 5. The ship does not seem to want to cooperate, so you have to do this alone.
Who needs the ship's help anyway?
We have a momentum. Can I do a direct here?
Yes.
All right, I will spend a momentum and declare this to be a direct, which means I can now, first of all, because I'm assisting, you get a reroll, and activating my Christopher Pike Medal of Valor, my roll is an automatic 1, so you get 2 free hits automatically.
Cool. A quick question. If I spend this Griffin's determination, how does that work? Or should I just not open that can of worms?
Oh no, we did it before. It'll map onto something.
For the purposes of determination, you can consider them when
Here it should be pretty easy because you won't have to translate it. She'll be doing something helm related.
yeah, your sheet is the same.
Yep. All right.
Because it doesn't matter exactly what you spent determination on. You just write down the value and what you did in the episode.
Absolutely.
So in this case, we don't have to get too deep into the weeds about it.
All right. Spend towards speed as a drug.
Yes.
Cochrane Medal of Excellence. I'm going to fire that off to gain 2 determination effects. So I'm going
All
to
right.
generate 4 momentum and gain 2 successes.
All right.
I'm going to use that 4 momentum to buy up to 4 dice. So we'll have 1 left after that. Or 1 left from what I generated.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
That's a total of 8 successes
Jeez.
without any traits.
Wow.
Yes, correct. Especially in this specific situation where it's Soloris's perception of Griffin.
So 8 successes on a difficulty 5 is 3 momentum gained. And we change scenes.
Bolts up right
Let's
out
see
of the
if I keep
chair.
that point of determination. Oh, hey, I do.
It's full.
Real me also has a point of determination.
We find Revere and the Doctor looking over plans for the creation of an artificial heart by replication.
Well, what do you think, Revere? Do you think the protein synthesis can handle this level of complexity?
It should do. I mean, fundamentally, you're not looking at something as complex as a brain. We have enough of the Commodore's stem cells to replicate.
We should.
So replicating the base tissue is not an issue, but we'll need to put together some kind of lattice work and, for lack of a better term, electrical wiring, and get the. I would say that we probably will need to also have a mechanical is not the right word. Some sort of containment cylinder that will keep the heart supplied with nutrients and beating. Do you already have such a thing available for standard transplants that keeps the heart viable?
I should.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do have that sort of equipment on hand.
It's risky, but it's doable.
Well, it's currently the Commodore's only chance.
Well, then I say we do it.
All right.
Besides, I've always wanted to earn a medical medal.
Assume there is some sort of a task
I'm working on
chain
it.
or extended task associated with all of this.
I love some of my logs. Call back to Latinum Fever. Jump started an Orion warp core this time.
Hmm.
All right, you have 2 tasks, or you have a task, and something else is happening. You have a task to jumpstart, or replicate, Solaris' heart.
That
Difficulty
smell
4.
of toast? Really?
Mm.
Yeah, as a failure of the heart. One might call it an attack on the heart. By Solaris' brain.
But you see, we have faith of the heart.
been a
It
long
still
road
No,
smells
to
like
get
toast
that
to
joke.
me.
face of the heart. It's a human feature. You don't get it.
That's why I said we.
A critical point here is that we don't have faith of the heart. Solaris does not have faith in her new heart enough
Exactly.
to accept that it exists.
Because she's
If-
not
if-
human.
One cat plus 1 bird equals human.
This is
Yep.
so stupid.
Okay.
I mean, that's basically what evolutionary theory was before Darwin.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So I think this starts out probably as a control medicine difficulty 4, resistance 3, because the doctor has to set up the environment so that when Revere provides the base components, the doctor can start rebuilding the heart.
Cool.
Mhm.
This
Do you
is
want to
gonna
do
be.
you want to activate Conway for an assist, maybe, just in case?
And I will
Yeah, that
spend-
sounds.
I'll spend. Actually, I don't need to spend 2 threat. Solaris has already done it for me.
So
I am going to reduce the resistance on the trouble track. It's going to work on the same. Every time you make a task,
it
something will
does.
happen. It does as well. And right now, it will do 2 work at a time because the resistance has been lowered to 2 because Solaris' heart is racing.
Okay.
It is. She is in danger of tachycardia.
Yep.
Again, brought to you by watching the pit.
Yeah.
Approved
Hey, at least.
by 1 out of 1 nurses that I know.
Yeah. Hey,
Also,
at
from
least you're
direct
not.
personal experience of tachycardia, it sucks.
Yeah. Hey, at least you're not. You're not my my Mutants and Masterminds character's best friend, whose tachycardia creates tachyons.
That's so stupid.
And
Love
results
it.
in time shenanigans.
Uh-huh.
So,
That's
quick
good.
study. Quick study when attempting a task that will involve an unfamiliar practice, technique, or medical procedure. Ignore difficulty or complication range. Increase stemming from unfamiliarity.
All right. So for you, this is difficulty 2.
Cool. In which case, I'm not gonna burn my surgeon's decoration yet, because what do we have for momentum on the board?
400.
4. I will spend 1 for the purpose of comp control. Surgery focus.
Not yet.
Okay, that's fair. In which case, I do not have an applicable focus.
Actually, no. I take that back. You are kind of setting up for a surgery, so I will still take that.
Okay. renowned physician.
No, because this is the first time you're doing something like this.
Fair enough. I'm running through my list of everything.
Mhm.
Um, 16, use resource control. That's the thing that kills the resistance. And I have assistance. So that'll be for the medical talent when that comes up. Okay. I'm just gonna roll 3, and I have a re-roll in case I need it.
All right. That looks like 6 on a difficulty 2. That is 4 gained.
Don't forget the
Yeah.
ship, because the ship will.
Yep. Sensors medicine.
Okay.
And your medicine is 5, right?
Correct.
And you didn't have anything to affect resistance this go around, right?
No, I do. This is
Okay.
if it's a control task.
Okay,
It's,
yeah, you said something, but you didn't ask if it applied. So I thought you were like
yeah,
saying
I
it
was.
might apply later. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't bring it up till now because now's the point where we're considering resistance.
Okay.
So that is and that's 6 successes plus a bonus momentum generated because of my medical talent.
Yep.
So how much float do we have?
It's like
What is
1.
the status of the momentum there, momentum controller?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure.
I was waiting for it to be called out. I'm sitting at 7 for some reason. That's where I got the 7th.
There was a bonus momentum.
So what was the diff and how much did you beat it by? 'Cause I didn't hear call out how much momentum was generated.
It was diff 2, I hit 6 successes.
Okay.
Plus a
That is
bonus
correct.
momentum.
All of that is correct.
So 4 generated?
Yes.
Yes.
1, 2. Could have just said 4.
Well, plus a bonus.
Yeah, you're at 6 in the pile plus 5 on the table.
Oh wow, okay. That's 5 work. I'll spend 4 of the float to generate 2 more work on top of that.
All right. You get a breakthrough. Your breakthrough is there develops a valve leak in Soloris's heart. So the resistance on the turtle track will go down to 0. And the doctor can no longer take part until it's time to start rebuilding the heart. Revere is on his
God's
own from this
almighty, I
point.
just saw this. God's almighty.
Hmm?
I just saw Smell of Toast in this stupid track.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I had fun thinking of that real quick.
Brought to you by Canadian Heritage Moment. That float's gonna poof, by the way?
The one float. I think so.
Okay. Glad I counted it.
All right. Revere, you're looking at daring, engineering, or medicine. Difficulty 5.
Okay.
Because the base difficulty is 4. And I will spend 2 to bring it up to 5. Because you are having to redo. You're having to re-replicate about half the material each time because you're not satisfied with the quality.
Ah,
Wow.
okay.
The hell.
Transporter synthesizers for focus.
Yes.
Okay. Trait of replication advocate. That is intensity 2.
Diff down by 2 or resistance down by 2? Or 2 extra work on a success?
Let's see. Diff is currently at 5. Resistance at 3. That's a daring, so I'm going to be able to use my talent against the resistance.
Yeah, I think the short time frame makes this daring.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, let's apply that to the resistance. Innovative engineer.
I'll take that as well.
Okay, let's just go ahead and get rid of the resistance then.
All right.
And since you kind of opened it up for this, since I wasn't satisfied with the quality, trusted friend of Soloris.
I will bring the big. Yeah.
Oh, I know what I would say in this.
No, that's gonna make it worse.
Yeah.
In fact, that's gonna make this impossible. You
Oh.
value Solaris too much to make a mistake, so you're gonna have to reapply one of those to difficulty. Otherwise, this task has become impossible for you.
All right. Then let's do innovative engineer for 1
Okay, so
to bring the
resistance
difficulty
goes
to
back
5.
to 1.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Like anything that applies. Okay. So I will I will spend my determination on the value I can fix anything. If you'll take it.
I would think the third one is more appropriate. Is you're not fixing anything that's broken. You're developing a new technique. Fixing something would be more appropriate for the doctor, but
Fair enough. Yeah, sure. I'll take. I've got to figure
actually,
this
I would
out.
take
Then.
any of your first 3. The fourth one, I don't think so.
Okay.
I would take any of the first 3.
Let me look and see what's what here.
Also, I realize I entirely forgot to make directives, but the 2 directives would be related to saving Solaris and figuring out what's happened to Andromeda.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm going to actually spend it on value 1. Performance specs are just estimates because I'm definitely asking the replicator to do more than it's.
Yeah, it says on the side for industrial use only.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Starfleet says it's good for solid billets of duranium. So it also works on like heart muscles too, right?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, but yeah.
Okay, so that's 2. Then I'm going to give you 5 for 4 dice. I'm going to make one of those. Now I'm just going to threat dump.
That's 6.
5 threat.
5 threat would be a 1E thing at 6.
Oh, okay.
A full net always costs the same.
Oh, okay.
Regardless of if you use determination.
I'm threat dumping him there, so we still have all that momentum.
Oh, sorry. Got that backwards. Somebody pays attention to the momentum.
I will re-roll the whiff.
Looks like
That's
2 momentum gained. What is your engineering?
My engineering is 5.
Puts you 1 short, but does give you a breakthrough.
Okay, let me hear
and
the breakthrough before I do anything else.
You can max out the progress track, but you cannot complete the task. The doctor has to make at least a final roll, because he actually has to
Do the
give
thing.
the patient the heart. Yeah.
All right, let me look at the. So we've got 7 out of 12, so there's only 5 remaining. If I max out the progress track, will it make his job easier, like lower his diff somewhere?
Well, I will say the final breakthrough is that your task worked. You have all the viable material the doctor would need. So I will bring the task down to difficulty 3.
Okay. So yeah, I have it's Miracle Worker, which lets me spend 1 for 1 instead of 2 for 1. So I'll
Okay.
spend 5 to complete the work track.
You only need to spend 1 momentum.
Oh, right. Duh. Yeah. Well, I'll
Because
spend
you
1.
have your. Because you do work.
Sorry. Yeah, it's true.
At least 1 float at the end of the rainbow.
All right. Though, without any resistance, the trouble track does go up by 4, which introduces a setback.
Okay.
The setback will push the. This isn't going to matter for the doctor, but this is what would happen. It's going to put the resistance up to 5 because Solorce's brain is not getting enough oxygen and is no longer. Cien actually falls unconscious onto the floor for a second before she's able to recover because Solorce's brain is suffocating.
Overheating.
So doctor, difficulty 3, resistance 5.
Okay. Difficulty 3. I'm gonna spend 3 momentum just to be safe. Surgery focus. Control medicine, I presume.
Yes. Also, I point out you don't have to actually do any work. You just have to succeed.
Yes.
Doctors don't do work anyway, as we learned in the pit.
Actually, wait. Renowned physician.
I'm not going to take this pit slander. Now, if you said, do doctors occasionally use performance-enhancing drugs they shouldn't, I would take that
Oh, geez.
as a...
Oh, geez. So, hang
It's
on.
like when Dr. Franklin did stims too much on Babylon 5 and then had to go walkabout to meet himself.
Hang on. Renowned physician.
So we didn't learn about that from the pit. We learned about that from Babylon 5 in the 90s.
Which I understand, depending on your physician, is either discount DS9 or the true DS9.
Your mic does
Better
work,
of the
by
two,
the way,
honestly.
just in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already like I'm.
Yes.
I'm like 3 times.
The doctor has the floor.
I'm still hung up on the idea that people invented performance-enhancing drugs at their occupation in the 90s.
That's when we learned about it.
Okay,
Re-
that's when we
Renowned
realized.
physician trait, please.
Someone's never heard of the Wehrmacht. Yes.
Okay,
Odds are
so
from
actually,
that.
I am only going to spend 1 momentum because
Okay.
now that makes this difficulty 1. Um. Also, wait. If I'm getting help from the ship's medbay, does that affect the difficulty?
Yes, it brings it down by 1.
Okay, cool. So this is now diff 0, and I'm just comp checking, really.
I will save you the roll. The progress tracker is already filled. You just logically, to complete it, you had to succeed at the task.
The roll,
but
yeah.
you've
I don't
made
have
it.
to roll
Yeah.
diff 0, yeah, through traits and such. Cool, I'll take that.
You think this will be the most difficult part, but actually, you and Revere's planning and your setup make this very straightforward, and you have
Yeah,
the
well,
skilled.
well, it's doing the heart transplant, which is the most like this is the part that people have known how to do for centuries now. It was getting the heart that was the hard part.
Because, you're heartless.
Several hours later. Actually, no, we will do this because I think Revere has to split.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Revere, you have finished successfully. Not Revere. Twair, you successfully finished the surgery.
You're also succeeded.
As you enter your office to find Revere and Cien probably drinking tea, I assume. Revere looking more nervous than Cien just by one of them having fully suppressed their emotions.
No.
I am pleased to announce that the transplant was a success. At this point, the only risks to Soloris's health are the normal rejection risks present in an ordinary transplant.
I look over to Cien and say, shouldn't be a problem. I went over every bit of tissue meticulously. It's her own tissue. I can't imagine that her body would reject it.
Indeed. However, and the doctor goes back to his seat. I must be careful. This is still an experimental procedure, after a fashion.
Cien says, I think you have both excelled at your work. I'll stay to help you ensure its success, Doctor.
Indeed.
If you don't mind, I'll stick around too.
Right.
Cien turns to Revere and says, I can't imagine Soloris would frown upon you doing so.
Thanks.
Indeed. I'll want to make sure that there are no negative effects on you after your prolonged mental contact with Soloris.
Say, Cien, did Soloris ever tell you about the time she beat a Klingon Dahar master in hand-to-hand combat? Well, hand-to-phaser combat?
Cien says, in our first meeting on Vulcan, she displayed no particular talent for combatives, but you witnessed her defeat a very capable Vulcan. And she kind of looks over towards Tamir and says, "Well, it's enough to say that you've witnessed it. I assumed these lessons must have been learned somewhere."
This actually happened after that, and I'll start telling her the story of the Solaris, just continually shooting a Dahar master until she went down. All right, and that's it for me, guys. We'll see y'all next week.
Yee.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
And scene will change. You've brought it upon yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
As y'all wait, eventually, Commander Inverni shows up.
There's probably an amused smirk at the force fields around Ivanov. Well, what is it you need me to do?
At present, Commander, we require you to interface with your ship. The ship does not recognize these two others, and I'm a civilian, so my interfacing it won't mean a whole lot. It seems the ship's AI may be self-aware to some degree, but it's self-aware in a manner that is not congruent to a normal Starfleet standard.
We've got a whole experimental AI running this thing now. I'm sure you'll love that.
Oh, yes, actually. You reckon they'll let me turn it into a science ship now?
They might.
I suppose we should find out if it will actually recognize me, I suppose. Well,
What
Communicator.
is... You open your communicator?
Yes, it's just the keep in touch while we're through there.
Oh, okay.
And yes, it's the let's just link them here while we can in person. Touch. Okay, there we go. Great, lovely. Yes. Hi.
It allows you to walk onto the bridge.
Oh, lovely.
On the screen, you see, "Welcome, Lieutenant Inverni," and then you see the science, operations, and consoles light up as Inverni was head of 3 departments.
Right, Lieutenant. Huh. Out of date.
You see on the console, on the science console, it says uniform markings do not match. Current information. Update, yes or no?
Yes.
All of the consoles turn off.
Lovely. However, still is Andromeda, or not Andromeda crew. Let's see. Where is the yes, Captain's Chair intercom press?
You press it.
Everything okay over there?
Well, it's doing the it's calling me a lieutenant, asking to update, then turning everything off when I say yes. So I'm going to update via the intercom on the captain's chair. I think that seems appropriate. If I have no other means to communicate, then this would work. Well, I would hope it would work.
Oh, did you bring your identity tape? That's another way you could probably update.
Oh, funnily enough, that was on the ship. That got disintegrated.
You can get another one printed? Okay.
I mean, you look in the chair, your normal set of data tapes are in the arm of the chair.
Yes. Oh, well, look at that. Fancy. Let's slot that in.
You hear rejection. Captain Solaris preferred.
Captain
Preferred?
Preferred, yes. Well, fancy. This is Commander Inverni to the vessel that is known as the Andromeda. If you are hearing me, I would love a response.
Acknowledged.
It's in her face.
Ooh. Well, he's pressing the intercom to do it, but yeah.
Still.
Evolutionary.
Lovely. It appears, to the best of my knowledge, that your information is out of date. Would you be willing to accept communication with myself and other personnel aboard this vessel to update?
Correction. Information accurate to the preferred time.
I request clarification. What do you mean by preferred time?
Andromeda prefers things as they were between stardates 000.0 and 2875.9. First commission.
The ship is nostalgic. Huh.
Does that even work?
Has this been a long-standing preference, or is this a recent development?
Current commission is devoid of significant events. Current commission provides no interest.
By current commission, do you mean since the reconstruction of a few hours ago?
Current commission began on the assumed command of Lieutenant Commander Inverni.
Ouch.
I think the ship thinks you're boring, Commander.
Apparently. Well, I don't know how to feel about that.
Current commission involves staying at Starbase and scanning remote systems. Current commission not preferred.
Get on board with this ship.
So I assume you being the vessel, is that correct to make? Is that a correct assumption to make?
Andromeda is Andromeda.
And is the entity I'm speaking to Andromeda?
Andromeda is Andromeda.
Okay.
Sounds like an affirmative to me there, Commander.
Yes, it does.
I mean, we do intend to head back out. Maybe we can ask the Commodore
Yes.
for a reassignment.
No, that is entirely possible. Commodore Solaris at this present time is injured and unavailable to assume command
Andromeda will
of.
provide assistance to the Commodore.
The Commodore is in the best medical facilities available to us at this present time.
Andromeda will procure Dr. Tuir for the Commodore.
Dr. Tuir is already aboard the other vessel and assisting the Commodore with all possible means at his disposal. I would not recommend interrupting the procedure, as that would be a risk to both. Until such a time as we can have the Commodore returned to commission, health, would you be willing to carry on in your assigned role?
Andromeda requires frontier missions of dubious success.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Oh my.
You know, technically, if this constitutes a sapient being, doesn't it fall under charter rights? We might be having a different conversation here, Commander.
Yes, no, that is a thought. Actually, Andromeda, you have full access to the records and information available to this vessel. I should say
Affirmative.
by the writings and charters of the Federation, and by your own consideration, would you constitute a sentient being? That is a big question, I know. I'm sorry.
Really, that should be administered externally, but probably knows its own self, hopefully.
Well, I'd like to know one's own opinion.
It's true.
I mean, didn't we definitionally kind of define ourselves as sentient?
Yeah, but that can be an illusion.
Current
Yeah.
Federation definitions on non-biological life are inadequate to describe Andromeda.
Memory Alpha wouldn't normally have the tapes regarding the heightened standards for sapiens, because that's not Starfleet standard. It would be in the Federation normal database.
Yes. If Andromeda was hypothetically a biologic, would that then meet these standards?
In all other cases.
That's the like
Yeah.
replacing the machine part with the biologic part. Would you consider it sentient, or would it be like a cow?
Andromeda would exceed all other recorded biological beings.
Oh.
I think that too, but try not to say it out loud.
Then I believe what we're currently undergoing between yourself and myself and the other biologic members aboard would constitute as a first contact type scenario. Would you concur?
Andromeda prefers first contacts, second contacts, boring.
Well, that's just not true. Sorry, just folds her arms looking up at the intercom, irritated.
I mean, to a certain extent, I do have to agree.
What?
We have been getting some rather dull missions by comparative standards.
I mean, I suppose, but
No, not you. You've been on the Thralik.
I've been on other ships, thank you.
No, I'm meaning recently.
Carry on, Commander.
Absolutely wild.
Grumble.
What?
Grumble.
And Bernie's a young guy come out of a ship. He's like, yeah, I've been on sensor duties. I'm a scientist, but still.
So
Right, well. Does the Andromeda wish to continue service in Starfleet at the present time?
some people,
No.
not those ones.
I didn't even have to
Some of us
say
do the real science out here. Thank you very much, Commander.
Oh, let me know when you get
Andromeda
around to that.
prefers eventful exploration unless it is possible to recapture the Monarchs to lethal. Then Andromeda would prefer that.
Did my translator turn off? What the hell did it just say?
The recapture of Demonix the Lethal, a particularly colourful individual.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm
He lived
glad
up to his name.
Okay, that's good to know.
Multiple times, actually.
Oh,
Yes, I'm sure the logs are available.
certainly look them up later. Hole in my
I think
knee.
I killed one of him.
Yes.
Perhaps
Perhaps.
reacquiring Monarchs to lethal is the preferred course. An Orion
Right.
is detected on board. Information may be forthcoming.
I am relatively confident, almost 100% in fact, that the Orion that is on board has no information regarding the Demonix the Lethal.
Then exploration is acceptable.
All right, well. Given your current ability to communicate and heightened intelligence, I believe that Commodore Solaris can be spoken with, and indeed come aboard when she is recovered to speak with you and come to an agreement, an arrangement. But until such a time, would you be willing to accept the command of another?
UNSPA's always looking for new.
He can't see you because the door's closed, I'm pretty sure, but he's pointing at the door.
Staring at the door. Shut up over there.
He's pointing at the door in the general direction he believes she's in.
Lieutenant Inverni's primary responsibility, crew management, secondary responsibility, scientific observation, verify.
Verified.
Andromeda, primary responsibility, crew management, secondary responsibility, scientific measurement, verify.
Verify.
Andromeda accepts responsibility, Lieutenant XO, USS Andromeda.
You defined an executive officer.
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay, just making sure we're all sane here today.
Yeah, well.
I mean, that seems like the most reasonable rank, right?
I mean, I could just say that, and I can get, 3 stripes on my arm. Don't do any work. I suppose I'm not a super intelligent starship.
Yes, there is that.
Small issues, yeah.
Inverni, your communicator chimes.
Oh, well, okay.
Commander,
I'll hang out for a minute.
Chief Kafal.
Go ahead, Chief.
Are we still on reassignment to Thralic? Or are we returning to duty?
Oh, let me guess. You all just got messages to return to duty?
Apparently I'm missing 4 of my last crew status reports.
Oh, delightful. Right. This is going to be a long story to explain. I'm going to say muster the crew together that is aboard the Thralic And ready yourselves for a briefing.
Very well, Commander.
On the plus side, I still sense him.
Yes. Okay.
You think
Oh,
he hung up or the computer hung up?
Oh, no.
I was about to ask.
You said Fallout.
Okay.
The barrier around Ivanov goes down, and it's Andromeda Lieutenant not lawfully allowed to detain. Commander Ivanov, prisoner released.
Much appreciated.
At least you were sane enough not to plug yourself into a terminal. Glances over at the lieutenant. Or anything else risky and out of nowhere.
It's not out of nowhere. I'll have Bernie will step over to the door and try to open it. Just
It'll open.
Yeah, he'll just lean in the doorway like, So, Griffin, can I interest you in something insane?
I would like to disembark before you do something insane.
Oh, I'm not saying right now.
Okay. Just wanted to...
Is the question what I think it is?
Probably, and Dolores would be very mad at me if I actually did.
I want to know about this.
Asking her to come back to the Andromeda.
I mean, sounds like a hell of an opportunity.
You'd have the best co-pilot. I'm putting a lot of faith in its ability to fly. It is a ship.
Yeah. Griffin will kind of walk over to and like kind of lean, kind of like pat the bulkhead. I mean, Andromeda's never let me down before.
And they're anthropomorphized. Actually, it makes sense now. Never mind.
On the comm panel next to the bridge door, like the button sucks in itself, and you hear high risk maneuvers in normal operations unacceptable. High risk maneuvers in unusual circumstances required.
Required.
Yeah. So I guess no more pulling out of space dock faster than regulation.
I believe the Andromeda is partway to an adrenaline junkie.
Andromeda, Lieutenant Griffin, Lieutenant Junior grade. Starbase procedures required.
Yeah.
Okay. Andromeda, I believe these individuals do have a number of tests that they would like, and examinations that they would like to undertake and verify. Given they are from the superior vessel that is in the region, that does make them.
Can we really define the Thralic as superior?
Okay, by superior vessel, I'm meaning by Starfleet.
Phaser complement, superior, Thralic, computational.
I point up like inferior. I saw this coming.
No, I'm meaning by Starfleet regulation, yada yada yada. The senior, or the
flag vessel.
The flag vessel, yes.
Flagship. I got my words wrong.
Thralic, shift starting. Will report to annual physical. At later time.
Actually, it would need.
It's an engineering somewhere.
Yes.
It has a long record of people seemingly ignoring them.
Right.
I mean, we'll probably need to do a physical before cleared for duty, right? I don't know.
Yes, that is, I mean, it was destroyed. So
So, Sapience test. I don't think a psi rating's capable in a starship. Finally.
to be fair, I did not think intelligence was capable in a starship of this to this magnitude.
I was gonna say we don't have bioneural gel packs yet.
Yeah, that's just sci-fi stuff. That's just fantasy.
Yeah.
Well, Duotronics is the cutting edge.
Psionics, not preferred. Psionics used by
yes.
the Vigal.
Yes.
The Vigal to be contained.
Oh.
Could I request a data tape regarding the Vigal, please?
The door to the captain's quarters and ready room opens.
I look over and shrug, like, do you mind?
No, yes, go ahead.
You see, there's a data tape plugged in. And it occurs. It had to find somewhere there was already a data tape plugged in. Like it didn't sprout like arms or anything. So it just overwrote whatever data tape Inverni happened to be working on a couple weeks ago.
That was just goodbye
Dang.
Italian opera, actually.
Dang.
Are you a new data tape? I'll get you a fresh one. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a data tape about the Vigal, but it says the best sopranos of the 21st century.
I'll take out the data tape and walk out with it. Hold it up. Do you want a deluxe edition or just the one you had?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. I mean, fair exchange. I'm gonna get a lot of reading out of this.
No need for recordings of Caprini. Inferior.
Hey, I resent that.
It's all Earth to me.
I don't
So.
want to know who you consider superior.
And that'll be the end of Theater of the Mind.
Yeah.
It's also the end of the episode. For everyone watching out there, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing and running, thank you very much for doing so. And we look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye.
Absolutely incredible.
Come
Yeah.
hell or high water, I hope to be both here with both my body and my headphones on the next session.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now with that attitude, you're not.
Yeah.
You need to have them like on call, like on a duty belt or something, so they're just ready to go. 24/7.
They were around my neck, and then I tossed them on the car when I was, getting ready to leave, and then it didn't start, and then I spent 4 hours in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's your first mistake right there. You took it off your neck.
I my first mistake was buying a car made by America.
Well, I mean, I didn't say that.
Man. Last thing I expected was Inverni to just be called boring